Hey guys, it's Tara here from Raw Food Livin, and in this video I want to talk about eating cooked foods versus eating raw foods and kind of yo-yoing back and forth between the two, which is best. And really I just want to share my own personal experience with cooked foods and raw foods. Before I begin this video, I have a little announcement to make. I want to let you guys know that I'm going to be speaking at the UK Fruit Festival from, I think it's July 25th to July 29th. I am so excited about this. I have never been to the UK Fruit Fest, but a bunch of my friends have gone and said it's amazing. So I'm really excited to go. One thing I'm going to be talking about there is body image, self-love, and how that relates to a raw food diet, because that is something I am mega passionate about. And the second thing I'm going to be talking about is activism, my work with Sea Shepherd, and the importance of being an activist overall. I also want to let you guys know, I'm going to post it in the description below, that there is a contest right now to win a free ticket for the Fruit Festival. So if you're interested in going, you maybe don't have the money, or you just feel like entering to win, I'll link to it down below with my own special link. If you do want to enter to win, you can also get a blender, a spiralizer, a juicer. I think there's books, cutting boards, a lot of other things you can win as well if you don't win the free ticket. So yeah, join below, and now we will get on to the video topic. All right, so I have my smoothie here this morning. It's my favorite combination right now. It is frozen strawberries, frozen bananas, dates, cashew, a little bit of oat milk, and orange oil. I know it's freezing cold outside and I'm drinking a frozen smoothie. It is cold, there's just no way around it, but it's really tasty, and sometimes I just feel like having whole fruits other than dates. I just can't drink a date smoothie every day, so that's what I'm having for breakfast this morning. I think you can see right there, I've got the last of my smoothie left. I make probably about, I don't know, 3/4 of the blender full every morning. Okay, so I want to talk about cooked foods and raw foods, yo-yoing between the two, and my experience with them. I also just want to say in this video that I am not in any way trying to demonize cooked foods. I know that there are a lot of people who eat raw for years, go back to eating cooked foods, and they feel totally fine, completely normal, and there's no problem. I also want to say that there is a grumbly, sleepy puppy beside me, Pepsi. So if you hear any grumbles or anything, or if you see a nose or a paw stick into the frame like this, it's because I have Pepsi. Okay, so back to cooked foods. I started eating cooked foods in 2016 when I was in Bali, because I knew I was going to be volunteering with Sea Shepherd that summer on board a ship. And for anyone, I'm not sure if any of you have ever been on a ship before, but it is so hard to eat raw, especially when you're working on deck all day, and especially when you're not preparing your own foods. It's kind of impossible. I had an opportunity back in 2010, I think. Yeah, 2010, to go down to Antarctica with Sea Shepherd on one of the anti-whaling campaigns. And I gave that opportunity up because of my diet. I was working on board the ship for months at that point, and they were ready to go, and the campaign leader came to me and he's like, look, we just can't risk your diet out to sea. Not in Antarctica, maybe somewhere where you're gonna be closer to shore, where you have access to fruits and things like that, but Antarctica is gonna suck for you, because it's, you know, at a certain point you run out of fresh food and you're gonna be left with beans and rice, and we can't be sure that you're not gonna be sick. I completely understood and respected that decision, because it was my own fault, really. I was being super dogmatic, and I really wanted to eat raw because it was what made me feel my best. And frankly, I did get sick eating a lot of cooked foods. I just didn't feel good, and I suffered a lot for it. And so it's always been for me trying to find this balance between, do I eat cooked food some of the time? Is it worth it? Because I love eating raw and I love the way I feel eating raw. But also, I am at a point where, when I made this decision in 2016 to volunteer with Sea Shepherd again on a ship, I realized I don't want to give up my dreams for my diet. And it's always been this real challenge for me, trying to find a balance between the work that I love to do, which is Sea Shepherd. It's my whole life. It's my dream, my passion, my life's work. Versus my diet and wanting to feel really good. And I'm not entirely sure I've been able to strike a balance between those two things. So I have kind of yo-yoed back and forth with eating cooked on campaign, coming back and eating raw. And my body has been a little bit messed up because of that. It doesn't do so well on cooked foods. When I was eating raw on the ship in 2016, down in Mexico, I had to take between 3 and 5 digestive enzymes a day in the morning with hot tea on an empty stomach. That's what I found worked best for me. And if I didn't do that, I just simply wouldn't have been able to go to the bathroom. Maybe that's TMI, but honestly, if you've ever had digestive issues like I have, you'll know how uncomfortable it is to not be able to go to the bathroom or to have really bad digestion. It affects your whole mood. It takes me from being a happy-go-lucky person to completely miserable and affects everything. Digestion is huge when it comes to your mood and anxiety levels and your overall health of your body. It's really important. So I kind of want to talk about how I feel eating cooked versus how I feel eating raw, and why I make the decision the vast majority of the time to choose eating raw over eating cooked. Like I said, I know there's plenty of people out there who go back from eating raw foods to cooked and they feel totally normal. I, for one, have never been able to relate to these people. I see my friends doing it and they've eaten raw for 5 years. They go back to eating cooked and they're like, oh, I'm having all these great results. That doesn't happen for me. It just simply doesn't. I end up feeling crappy. I'm not trying to say that I feel horrible eating cooked foods, because I don't. It's still vegan, it's still relatively healthy, but I just don't feel good. And I've come to a place where I've experienced this level of health where I want to feel good all the time. I was talking about this the other day in my Instagram stories, where it's basically I don't want to feel just okay anymore. I want to wake up with tons of energy. I want to feel amazing, because damn, it just feels good to feel amazing, doesn't it? Like, if you've ever experienced feeling kind of okay, not so good versus feeling amazing, why would you want to compromise? So how I feel eating cooked foods, I have tried a low carb cooked, I've tried high carb cooked, I've tried various ways of trying to integrate raw and cooked together, and there's just nothing that works for me, frankly, nothing that I have currently tried. And I grow tired of experimenting with cooked foods because I just feel like crap. So what do I mean by feel like crap? Okay, for the vast majority of people, this is probably their normal, so I'm not trying to offend anybody, but when I eat cooked foods, the first reaction that I get is in my stomach. Automatically, it feels upset. It just doesn't feel good. It's kind of grumbling around, gurgling, and it just, I've experienced anxiety, and it makes me feel anxious. My stomach kind of feels like it's in a tight knot, a tight ball. To be entirely honest, I just can't digest the food. Most cooked foods I can't digest very well. So that's automatically the first thing that I experience. Then it'll usually start, so if I go to sleep after I've eaten cooked food, I wake up the next morning and I feel tired. Usually I feel really dehydrated and I can see it in my face. I don't usually have dark circles under my eyes or bags under my eyes. That's just genetically not something I have. However, when I eat cooked food, I wake up the next morning, I have lines under my eyes, and I think that's because of dehydration. I also just look and feel really tired. Just like I can get through the day, it's no problem. I'm not super lethargic having to sleep all day or anything, but it's just a general fatigue that kind of sits with me all day long. And it's kind of irritating, to be honest, because I want to have enough energy to do all the things I want to do. I'm an ambitious person. I want to have energy to live my life the way I want to live it. So digestion and energy. The next thing I experience inevitably is acne. Acne has been my main motivation most of my life for any kind of health journey that I've had, for any diet that I've eaten, for any lifestyle that I've changed to. Obviously, I'm a vegan for ethical reasons. However, I eat raw food for acne. That was my main motivation going raw. I was like, I just want to clear my skin. I'm so tired of having cysts. You can actually see, I don't know if you can see in the video, I have one right here. I've got them on my forehead, which is actually why I'm wearing a toque today. But I was eating a little bit of cooked food because I'm on campaign with Sea Shepherd right now. However, I realized if I just put a little bit more effort into what I was eating, I could actually maintain a raw food diet while on campaign where I am in this camper van. So I switched back to raw and immediately felt a difference, felt a lot better. But something that always happens to me is while I'm eating cooked food, I have this like bumpy scaliness. My skin right now, I feel the skin on my cheek and it is super smooth. I love it so much. If you've ever had acne, you will know the difference, how you feel. It affects your confidence level so much. When you have smooth skin, it is just so freaking nice. So I have really smooth skin right now, except for the few pimples that are coming on my forehead that you can't see strategically, and the one on my chin. But that's inevitably something that happens after I go from eating cooked to raw. My skin gets worse before it gets better. This is always something I've experienced. Oops, sorry, camera shook a little there. So acne is big for me. I don't want to have acne because I experienced it for so many years, and I was on antibiotic medication for so many years because of acne. I'm sick and tired of having acne all over my chest, face, back. It just sucks. There's nothing that feels good about having acne. So if I can eat in a way that prevents it from happening, I am all for that. Another thing I experienced is keratosis pilaris on my arms, which is like a bumpy, kind of painful red, a little bit itchy, kind of like small pimples as well, which I was told I could never heal, which when I do eat raw foods, I don't have it. So that's another thing. Another thing that happens is weight gain and all over bloating and water retention. It's not a lot of fat gain. Can't really say, I mean, it's not like I've had it measured, so I wouldn't say I gain a lot of fat eating cooked foods at all. However, I do gain a ton of water retention. And I just get this overall body like puffy, flabby feeling, especially in my face as well. It's like I get chipmunk cheeks and just overall kind of like hungover. That's it. I feel when I eat cooked food the next day when I wake up, I feel hungover, kind of like when I used to drink back when I was a teenager. So that's in general how I feel. I don't know why I feel this way. I don't know why I'm different than people who are able to go from raw to cooked and have no side effects. I have no idea. All I know is this is my experience, and it's good motivation for me because it keeps me eating raw. And I just, if I could find a way to integrate cooked food into my life while on campaign with Sea Shepherd, and so I didn't have to struggle with all these side effects, I absolutely would, because I don't think cooked food is terrible. However, I just haven't found any kind of balance, and I've tried various ways of eating cooked food that just don't work. Now on to raw food. This is the contrast that I experience. When I'm eating raw, my digestion is perfect. It's like a weight is lifted off my shoulders. So if I have a meal of raw food, afterwards, I just feel totally normal. My digestion works as normal. I feel no gurgling, no movement in my stomach. It's like I didn't eat at all because it just feels pleasantly full. Not stuffed, but just full, and I get more energy after I eat. That is the huge difference between raw and cooked for me. If I eat cooked food, I lose energy after I eat. It's like I have to lay down to digest. Whereas after eating a meal of raw food, like a big salad or smoothie, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm super energetic. It's like having my smoothie in the morning here. So it just feels good to eat this food. It feels life-giving, where I feel kind of drained when I'm eating cooked. So digestion is huge. Absolutely the first thing. Second thing is my skin. Like I said before, it goes smooth and it feels so nice. It doesn't feel bumpy. There's no like, I don't know what I call them, like water pimples, something like that. There's nothing. That just feels completely smooth on my face, my chest, my back, my arms. It's just all smooth, especially on my legs too. Sometimes I got keratosis pilaris eating cooked food. So completely smooth skin all around, which is so freeing and absolutely liberating and helps me feel more confident and just happy all around. The third thing is that I don't get any of the bloating or discomfort when I eat raw foods. The odd time I might feel bloated if I go to a restaurant and eat a super salty, fatty meal, but even not really then. So that whole layer of kind of like flabby, watery, I don't know what it is, weight that kind of sticks to my body when I eat cooked, that's not there when I eat raw. I feel so much more toned, and I'm gonna love, or I'm gonna try to love my body at any size, because self-love is always kind of a journey, and doesn't always come easy to me. But I just feel way more confident in my skin when I don't have that kind of flabby, I don't know, feeling. Like it's not just how it looks, but it's also how I feel on the inside. The two kind of go hand in hand. When I can free myself from that, and I feel like my skin is more taut and tight, and my body just feels better and looks better all around, I feel much more confident because of that. I also wake up and I don't have any of the bags under my eyes. I don't have any of the puffiness at all. I don't have the lines under my eyes, which I really enjoy. My skin all around just looks so much more smooth and youthful, which is something I really, really love. And my energy levels are through the roof, skyrocketing. I feel energy from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, and it never really dips. As long as I eat enough fresh fruit, of course, like in smoothie form or whatever else I have access to, and I eat an equal amount of fresh greens and a fatty dressing, I feel super balanced and less anxious. I feel energetic. I have soft skin, clear skin. I just feel happier all around. My mood is elevated so much more. I think I've kind of touched on all the different points between cooked food and raw food. Generally, the feeling is cooked food, I'm okay. Raw food, I feel awesome. Yeah, I hope this is relatable in some way, because for me, I've just found that I have so much trouble relating to other people in this movement who make videos, and one day they'll eat all cooked food and they're like, I feel great, I feel fine. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why do I not feel the same as these other people? Either there's two scenarios, I feel. Either they're just not telling the truth about the symptoms that they're experiencing afterwards, or I'm just overly sensitive and I experience more symptoms than the average person. So I'm kind of interested in hearing from you. After you've watched this video and you've kind of seen my take on eating cooked versus eating raw, do you relate to any of this? Have you experienced any of the kind of low feeling, for lack of a better word, kind of crappy feeling eating cooked food? And do you experience the kind of high, amazing, energetic, healthy feeling you get from that I get from eating raw foods? I'm wondering if you experience the same. Also, I'm totally open to discussion down below if you experience the complete opposite of what I'm talking about. I just think it's so important to listen to our own bodies, because not everyone is going to react the same way to similar foods. There are plenty of people who feel amazing eating cooked foods and feel pretty shitty eating raw foods. So please, if you are looking up to people on YouTube or you're looking up to myself, please don't put anyone on a pedestal, because you may feel differently eating different foods. I feel that we're all meant to eat a vegan diet. We are all meant to live a plant-based lifestyle. However, the type of plants is going to be really influenced by where you live, what your lifestyle is, the foods you have access to, and generally what kind of health difficulties you have dealt with. Because I was on antibiotics for so long, because I have the history of acne, my body reacts a lot differently than a lot of other people's. So that's kind of my take on cooked food to raw food and yo-yoing. I just feel that there's way too many blanket statements out there that say cooked food is bad, raw food is amazing. I feel like you can kind of have a balance between the two and kind of at least try to experiment to see what feels best for you. And I think that's where I'm going to end this video. I'd really love to hear from you down below whether you love raw foods or whether you love cooked foods. Either way, honestly, what matters most to me is that everyone is eating vegan because it's best for the animals, best for our bodies, and best for the environment. And yeah, I think that's it. So thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.